This time we're going to be looking at my favorite toy from the Transformers Energon line, and that is the Supreme Class Omega Supreme. And as you can see, he is mainly two vehicles, at least in his alternative mode. One section is this battleship, which is very multicolored and has a lot of detail in it. Has three main guns on the front. When you turn the big one with the buttons on it, actually fires missiles. These two move accordingly with it. Or you could just move, or this little swivel here will move them all by themselves. And it has a secondary one on the back, which has full range of motion, and it has some more on the sides. On the front end, you'll see that there's the, if I can get that out, it has the combination spark with the Autobot symbol in it, which will fit any Energon star. I usually like to leave it on because I think it looks better. And on the bridge area, you'll see that it looks distinctly like a battleship bridge with the antennas sticking out, and that is actually the main body for the entire robot, which I'll get to in a second, but how that's a homage to. But yeah, that's about it as far as this one, except for there's a whole lot of detail on it with little tiny wheels on the bottom. And in the back, see the engines deep inside the rear, which actually have a lot of detail in there for not sticking out too much at all. Now, my least favorite component out of this vehicle mode is this construction train. Has a more futuristic train look on the front, while the rest seems more like a construction vehicle. This will obviously become the arm later on, but in this form, in this part of the toy, it really just kind of reminds me more of a Tonka construction toy. Not a whole lot to do here except move around an arm, and you can swivel and play with these a little bit. Not sure exactly what purpose they're supposed to do, but they're there. And it has a couple more guns on the side here, which really don't serve any purpose unless it wanted to fire off to the left or right side. And now you can also join these two into a super long vehicle, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the longest Transformer vehicle mode in history. Even that of Generation 1 Fortress Maximus. And especially if you stand them up, you can just get a good feel of how long he is. There we go. We just swivel up a little bit. Yeah, he's pretty long. So, unless I am mistaken, which I don't think I am, but I could be, I believe this is not necessarily the biggest as far as bulk, but definitely the longest vehicle mode in Transformer history. And this is the mode I prefer to have him in vehicle mode. Now, besides vehicle and robot mode, the two halves can be separated. We'll go ahead and remove this guy, and can be converted into like battle stations for the Autobots. And you can convert this one by swiveling this down, kind of making a little stable base for it. spin it around, and have it arch up a little bit, and that's it right there. If we get Optimus here, you can see. Oh, and you could, if you want, doesn't really serve any purpose, you can fold out these bits on the side to form little handles. Take Optimus, stand them behind them, and there you go. It has a nice little gun form. And this does look rather nice, but it would be, instead of having to fire these two, which isn't really the main gun in this mode, it would be kind of nice to actually have some projectiles coming out of the tips here, but still looks rather neat. And you can convert the other half, pretty much doing the same thing, except this one's a little bit more awkward to look at by I believe this is how it's supposed to be. It's been a while since I've played with it like that, because I usually don't prefer to have it like this, but I think that's about how it looks just as awkward as this, if it's not supposed to be that way, but get the general idea. Looks pretty silly. Same thing as the handles on the side. Now, to convert them into Omega Supremes, want to get, if you want to start with the battleship section, basically want to get this in the, if you want to, when you put them in robot mode, if you're starting from the basic battleship mode, which looks something like this, swivel this down, all the way down, just as you did for the battle mode, I guess you want to call it. Extend that all the way out. Then get this part facing out. Then rotate this around. And then take the front section, fold it down or off to the side, continue on, and that half is done. And for the very complicated conversion of this half, you want to swivel this leg around, flip up the foot. Very complicated. And then, well, first, then you want to flip up this section here that acts as a connector for the two. And then simply just snap them in place. Now, even without putting on the head, it still has a kind of secondary head that you can use if you want, which is just this little thing there. Now, I think I read in an interview that the only reason that's there is just to make it look less awkward when the head was attached. I don't think that's supposed to have any personality to it at all, but it is kind of awkward looking. Slide it down. Now this is a homage to the not only to Generation 1, but to the Headmasters as well, because take this little robot, which is the personality of Omega Supreme, fold the legs back, make sure the antenna's sticking up, and attach it, flip up the head plate, and see that he has the almost a very similar generation look in this face, and that's him in his robot mode. You can see it, because it is a Supreme class figure, it is very big. It is on par with the Armada Omega Unicron figure and the Cybertron Supreme class Starscream. It's just as big, but very bulky. Surprisingly, it does have a lot of posability. Not as much as some smaller figures, but his extendable arm, which doesn't really give him a whole lot of reach, and does everything else that he does, all the features that he did in his vehicle mode. Even his guns here in the front, which look rather questionable from certain angles. Now, not a whole lot of other features in this robot mode, but he does have one cool thing I like about him. Even though he does get a lot of bad reputation for this combined mode, but he can combine with Optimus Prime. And we're going to do that by almost just reversing what we did. Take off the head, separate the main body, and just set it off to the side for now. Now we're going to take the Optimus figure and pretty much just transform him into his vehicle mode, except leave the head up, whoa, like so, then flip the battle mask down, or battle helmet, then take the back sections of both of the halves, flip them open like that. That'll give room for this tail section to stick out. Slide one half in, hold it in place until you get the other half in, which you want to kind of flip this piece off to the side. Make sure it's all in place. And there he is. Called, I like his Japanese name better, which is Omega Convoy, but in the Energon cartoon he's just referred to as Optimus Supreme, I think, which sounds rather stupid. Now adding Optimus Prime does give him this really obnoxious looking back tail going on here, which is really the only thing distracting about this, and that his head is really out of proportion with the rest of the body, while in the cartoon it looks in proportion, oddly enough. But that's not it, oddly enough. He still has a couple more features where you can take the Grand Cross and take them and put them on these little sections here. Now you can put them anywhere you want. I'm just putting them in my preferred areas with the way I think they look best. What the point is of having extra feet on the side, I don't know, but it's there. Alright. As if he wasn't big and cumbersome looking enough, there we have Omega Convoy, Optimus Supreme, and his full out battle ready mode, which does look really cool, but lacks a whole lot of playability in the robot mode. Only has the fire and missiles on the top here. There's so much more they could have done with this figure, even especially since it's a Supreme class toy. It's the only thing I don't like about it is that it has so much more potential for having a lot more features in this mode. Light, sounds, could have had almost everything. But I actually will go and take it back, that statement. Apparently it is supposed to have sounds. I just never knew that. There's this sound box on the side of a button. I guess I just never put batteries in it. I just remember that when I said it didn't have any sounds, but I guess it has sounds, but I have no idea what they sound like. So, can't really give final judgment on that. But like I said in the beginning of this video, this is my favorite figure from the Energon line. If you're only get one figure from the line, I would say this is it, because this is a great homage to the original character, but updates him enough and gives him a lot of playability and a whole lot of feature, or a lot of things you can do with just this one toy. Alright, until next time, thank you for watching.